So one day, in one farm in Apo, there was this caterpillar and an ant. They were very good friends. So every time they were just playing around on the floor and on the farm with other insects. But all the time, the caterpillar would look into the sky and see other beautiful flying butterflies and other insects flying in the sky. And he was always asking his ant friend, why can't we be like these guys? And one day, both of them learned that there's a very wise old insect that lives in an ant hill. So the caterpillar and the ant decided to go and visit this wild old insect. And when they got to his place, they asked him, we see other insects that are flying. What will it take for us to fly? Meaning that for school owners, you are seeing other very big schools. And you are wondering, what will it take for me to build my school into a massive school? So this ant and this caterpillar went to see this very old insect and asked him, do you want to fly? He said, yes. Do you want to build a big school? Yes. Okay, one of the things that you need to do if you want to fly, if you want to build a big school is go and find all the books about building a big organization. Go and find all the courses about building a big school. Go and find all the people, all the other insects that have learned how to fly. Find out the books that they've written about them and start to read. Don't do any other thing for the next 6 months apart from reading these books. So when the two left, the ant looked at the caterpillar and said, this man must be crazy. How will he just tell us to leave everything we are doing and for the next 6 months just tie ourselves around and do nothing but just study on how to grow ourselves and how to become flying insects? Which means, how would this person expect me for the next 6 months to stop going for all the ashebis, stop attending all the programs, and all I do is to get books on all the big schools in the world, get books about universities, that how they started small and become big, get instruction manuals, get trainings, and just pour myself into it. And the caterpillar said, you know what? Why don't we just give this thing a trial? But the ant said, no. These 20,000 school fees that I'm collecting, I need to go and get it from my parents. These parties that are coming up, I need to attend it. These petty things that are coming up, I need to do them. But the caterpillar said, you know what? Let me even give this thing a trial. Just like some of you will say, some of the ideas that we share today, let me give them a trial. So he went into his cocoon, tied itself off, wrapped itself up in the cocoon. But every day, and was reading about other schools, was reading about other insects that have transformed themselves from crawling insect to flying insects, was learning about attending seminars inside that his cocoon, was attending school seminars, was reading business books, was attending instructional manual, was developing their SOPs on how to grow their schools. And this caterpillar was there. But every day his friend will come up from going to work and see it wrapped up. I say, you are just wasting your time there. Me, I'm making money from the school fees I'm collecting. Me, I'm attending issues. I can't come and kill myself. But the caterpillar was in that particular place. And 6 months down the line, one day he just felt as if he had a transformation, and he just opened the door of the cocoon to go and tell the wise old ant that he feels that he has gotten some transformation. But immediately he opened this door, he suddenly realized he had become a beautiful butterfly. It means that your school can grow from a very small school into a very big school. If you decide to say, what does it take to build a school? What are the schools that have started small and have grown big? What are the schools that I'll need to start to understudy to see what they've done to grow themselves? A few years back, I listened to Bishop Oyedepo talk about how Covenant University was started. He said when he wanted to start Confident University, one of the first things he did was to go and get books on the history of Harvard, go and get books on the history of Yale, go and get books on the history of Oxford. What he did was that he started to study this book to say, these schools that have lasted for years and have become massive universities, how did they start? And because he has studied schools that have become great, after that he started to study what are the qualities of leaders that led these schools. Meaning, in your own space, what are the schools that have endured? What are the basic plans for building a very big school? Because the mistake a lot of people make is that they assume that to build a very big school, what you need is structure. It's not structure that you need. It's the mental capacity to understand what it takes to build a very big school. I always give this example which applies to school. Assume, where are you from? Imo State. Where in Imo State? Okay. So let's say you go to your village, for instance, and there's the woman, you see a woman that sells akara, for instance, and you want to help her life, and you decide, let's say every day she does a turnover of 5,000 with her business, and you decide to help her business. Probably you give her, normally her turnover is about 5,000 every day, but you want her to grow the business and you give her 100,000. Do you know what will happen after 6 months to 1 year when you come to her place? You've given her 100,000 to add to her business. Do you know what will happen? When you come back after 6 months to 1 year, she would have wasted all that 100,000. Do you know why? Her mental capacity can only handle 5,000. So if somebody's mental capacity is 5,000 that he can handle, if you give him any money above that, the person will start to waste that money until he gets down to 5,000. That is when she will continue the normal business of 5,000 that she's doing. It means that if your mental capacity as at now can handle only 10 students in your school, if they bring 20 extra students into your school, you start to behave in such a way to chase those extra 20 out. Do you understand? It means that before your school can grow from 10 to 20 to 30 to 50, your mental capacity, first of all, must grow beyond 10, 20. It means how we grow and develop ourselves are the key areas to growing our capacity and growing our schools. Meaning the starting point, especially for those of you who have not started the school, but for those who already have schools, the foundation is to go back and say, what makes a school successful? What foundation must be there? Because every business has what is called its key critical success factor. I always ask my wife, what do you think are the key success driving factor in your business? And she mentions a lot of things. I tell her, in school business, the key factors that drive success are the mothers, one. Because mothers are the key people that decide the schools that their students attend. It means that in your area, if you want your schools to grow, what relationship do you have with mothers within a 5-kilometer square radius in your vicinity? Because people who will join your school will come from your neighborhood. Am I right? You now ask yourself, what relationship do you have with people within that neighborhood? What are the associations in your neighborhood and how active are you in that particular association? Because the only way people who want to send their child to a school will ask their friend. And the only way your name will come up is if you are within that circle of friends. Let's say your school is located in an estate. If you are not active in the estate association, there's no way you can grow the school. If you don't deliberately build relationship with people in that vicinity, there's no way your school can grow. The second success driving factor in a school is the quality of your teachers. The mistake a lot of people make when they are building their school is they fail to realize that school is driven majorly by word of mouth. If my my child is doing well, I tell others. And for my child to do well, the quality of teachers you bring in are critical to the success of the school.